Let's solve homework exercise number 11 from section 3.3 homework exercises. All right, we're going to go through one row at a time. Okay, first row, we've got both P and Q are true. Okay, and we've got to do, again, now the entire statement we've got to do is not Q, or is not, in parentheses, Q or not P. So the first thing we're going to do inside the parentheses, we do negation before ands or ors, so we're going to do negate P. Then inside this parentheses, we're going to do the statement Q or not P, so that's why we have it the next column. And then finally, we're going to take that statement and negate it, which will be our fifth column, okay? So the order makes sense in terms of order of operations for sets. Okay, now, in this one, we have, I'm sorry, order of operations for logic, not sets. Okay, and so now P is true, so the negation of true is going to make it false. This statement Q, which is true here, right, or not P, which we just said is false. True or false is a false statement. I'm sorry, true or false is a true statement when an or statement or a disjunction is true. When, if either one is true or both are true, it's only false when both are false. And then, of course, the negation of this is just a negation of this right here. So whenever we're going to just take this truth value and take the negation. So in this case, it was true. So the negation of true is false. Okay? So again, one step at a time, and we get our answer to the third, fourth, and fifth column. False, true, false, false, true, false, false, true, false, false, true, false. All right, let's look at negation of P, or true, second row, P is true, Q is false. So negation of P, P is true to begin with, so negation of true, I'm thinking of the answer. The negation of true is going to be false. Okay, here Q is what? False. Or substitute in negation of P we just did is false. False or false is false. That's the one time when the or statement is false, when both are false. And then the negation of this statement right here is this column, so it ended up false. So the negation of false, of course, has a truth value true. Okay, so we have false, false, and then true. Negation of P from true to false. A false or false is a false statement, and a negation of this false statement makes it true. All right, the third row, we're going to begin with P is false and Q is true. So negation of P, if it's false to begin with, it's going to be true, right? Negation of false. Here, Q is true, or negation of P, which we just said is true. A true or true statement has truth value true. Either one or both are true, then the or is true. And then the negation of the third column is the negation of our fifth column is negation of our fourth column. The fourth column was a true, so negation of a true will make this statement false, okay? Because this one here is just the negation of that. So we're just going to go switch from true to false, or false to true. True, true, false. True, true, false. True, true, false. Okay, and finally we start out with both being false in the fourth row. So the negation of a false is going to make it true. Here we have Q is false, or negation of P, which is actually we just did is true. False or true is a true statement. An or statement is true when one or both are true. And then the negation of this statement here is the value of this. So negation, it was a true. Negation of true will make it a false. Okay? All right, very good. All right, question number 12. another truth table, Q or P and not P. So we're going to do, we can either do Q or P or not P, either one. So again, Q or P and not P. We do the negations first. So that's why not P is in column 1 or column 3, the first. And then we're going to do inside the parentheses, which is right here, Q or P. And then we're going to take these two columns 3 and 4 and combine them with an and statement to get column 5. Okay, so one step at a time. So again, P is true, so the negation of true is going to make it false. Q or P or Q or P, true or true, is a true statement, right? When they're both true, your statement is true. And then finally, we're going to take this statement here is true from column 4, and negation of P is false. True and false, an and statement is only true when both are true, so true and false is actually a false statement. Okay, so each step, order of operations, first not P, then Q or P, and then combining them with an and we get our answers.
False, true, false, false, true, false, false, true, false, false, true, false, true,
false. Okay, going to the second row, negation of P, we see P is true to begin with, so the negation of true is going to be false. Here we're going to have P or Q true, well actually Q is false, so if we put them in the right order, false or P is true. False or true is actually a true statement, and or statement is true if either one is true. And now we're going to put these two together with an and. The first one is from this column, the fourth column, which we said is a true, and negation of P we said is a false. True and false is going to be false because the only time an and statement is true is when both are true. So that would be a false. Okay?
false, true, false, false, true,
Okay, down to the third column, or third row. We begin with a P is false and Q is true. So negation of a false for P is going to make it true. Q is true or P is false, right? True or false is actually a true because the only time an or statement is false is when both are false. So we got one true, it's a true. And now we're putting these two together. Column Q or P is column 4 is a true, and not P is also a true. True and true is actually a true statement. When both are true, the conjunction or the and is true. All right, so doing one statement with in order of logical operations, one at a time, we get our answers. Okay, and the fourth column, or fourth row, both are beginning with a false, right? We have both are false. Negation of P, then negation of false would actually make it true. False or false, right? Q or P are both false. That's the only time an or statement is false. When both are false, an or statement is false. So there's our false. And finally, we're going to combine the fourth column, Q or P, which we just did was a false, and not P, which we said is a true. False and true is actually a false because the only time an and statement is true is when both are true. So if one is false, it's false. So again, doing it in the order of operations, not P, then Q or P, and then combining those two with an and, we get true, false, and a false for each of the answers respectively. Okay, we're going to stop this session here. This is your math teacher, Dr. Swears. I hope you found this video helpful. If you still need more help, go ahead and send me using the inbox in the Canvas course. Send me an email using the inbox in the Canvas course through the FSW portal, and I'll be more than happy to help you with with the problems or anything else that you have questions on. Thank you.